Hello everyone, welcome to Crypto Morning on Friday, October 4th, 2024. We've been waiting weeks for this stat. Markets are at a standstill, up 0% for days. While we wait, the Middle East situation is tense. But this 2:30 p.m. stat will be crucial. September was great statistically, which is why we had such a strong month for crypto. Don't forget that. We had a great month, but markets still doubt if rates will drop. It's confirmed the cycle's changing. For better or worse, recession or not, we'll know at 2:30 p.m. with this critical statistic. Lastly, why nuclear power is central to the Iran-Israel conflict. Israel will retaliate, it seems confirmed, in an attack coordinated with the US. The big question, will they target nuclear or oil sites, and what consequences for Iranians? In France, markets saw a big drop, but it's tied to local factors. The new government plans to overtax companies, possibly raising corporate tax. They're doing it by sector, mentioning aviation and the French lottery and gaming. This puts pressure on the stock market with these sectors falling. Paris stock market is unique, but the US is what we should watch. The S&P 500 has been nearly stagnant for several days now. Nasdaq did the same, down 0.08% yesterday. The market's been stagnant since the week began. Middle East events make investor impact hard to predict. Currently, it's partly, never the main reason, but there's heavy selling pressure from Middle Eastern investors due to uncertainty. I like this analysis from Standard Chartered. They're increasingly discussed in crypto circles as they're venturing into tokenization and custody of digital assets and more. They're really making a big pivot towards cryptocurrencies. It's a very old, historic bank in England. They suggest Bitcoin could dip below $60,000, which they believe would create excellent buying opportunities. You'll see. That's what we're observing now. $60,000 is being bought up every day. Will it hold with today's stats? I'm not sure, but it's being bought non-stop. Next up is the SEC. XRP won a lawsuit. It was Judge Torres, we know her well, and XRP has appealed. Coincidence or not, it's crazy. On the same day, one of Gary Gensler's top directors resigned when the appeal was filed. Is there a connection? Interestingly, the IMF keeps pressuring El Salvador, the first country to make Bitcoin legal tender. They're still pushing, while BlackRock gorges on Bitcoin. All major banks and US retirees are buying Bitcoin, yet they still pressure El Salvador. You'll see why. You'll understand. They're hostile to Bitcoin and crypto, but here's the kicker. They're pushing for a digital central bank. Let's take a look right away. This is huge news to me. It's shocking. SWIFT, the interbank network used to block Russia from exchanges. SWIFT blocks define centralized banking, a union of global banks, mainly Western. And get this, they're about to launch digital assets. They're even talking about a digital currency. It's crazy. SWIFT is one of the entities that motivated Satoshi Nakamoto to create Bitcoin. It's mind-blowing. And now SWIFT is going to launch a digital currency. It's completely insane. It's really the core idea behind Bitcoin's creation was to combat centralized organizations. There's great news. Greece plans to launch an investment fund on AAVE. Token news could fuel the already insane bullish momentum for AAVE. It's at very high levels, near all-time highs. And I think it'll remain ultra bullish for AAVE Tron Network. It's generating revenue, which is great to see in a blockchain project, as many don't. To be honest, 90% of projects generate absolutely no revenue. Tron surprises critics. I know it's not popular, but I'm a TRX holder, and 579 million in revenue is known, but not widely. They're making money. They excel in the stablecoin market, which is worth 62 billion. The historical leader is Ethereum, but Tron has 34%. Imagine 50%, 30%, and 35%. Together they have 85%. Just crumbs. It's a blockchain generating huge revenue, recently increased by the trickster Justin Sun, scratching like everyone else, releasing some meme coins for profit. NFTs might make a comeback. Tony True came out of nowhere. Look at this major artwork, $56.3 million, 24,000 ETH. And I'm stuck on this image. I'm terrible at drawing, but I think Place 4 brown squares, 1 black, 2 black blues, make a hair-like staircase. NFTs are incredible. I'm still as impressed as I was at the beginning. But then we see opportunities. There are people willing to pay 56 million. Why didn't I get into NFTs, actually? It's crazy. We're back to square one after 3 years of massive decline. 3 years later, NFTs and crypto are back. Then there's Cathie Wood, known for big bets like Tesla. She's had failures since, but we talk less about those. Now she's betting big on OpenAI, even borrowing. She's putting in $4 billion. There's plenty of room. When we can buy, it might hit $500 billion. We'll discuss later, but I think it could perform well. Putting $1,000 on OpenAI might be smart. More on that later. We'll talk more about it. There's an HBO documentary I'm eager to see. It might be out already, revealing Satoshi Nakamoto's identity. It's a major report. The markets are in the red, but it's not deep red. There are still some green spots, a bit of green showing up. XMR, I'm so happy. They get delisted, and each time they drop, but they keep bouncing back. Volume's down a bit, but it's crazy because yesterday during the day, volumes hit about 42, 43 billion at one point. Now it's dropped a bit, but still high. Calm before the storm. Check the 2:45 p.m. volumes, for instance. Not the standard folks, but the diehards. It'll never stick. At some point, it won't hold. It'll drop to 30k, as the 20k sellers say, but so far so good. I'd say in 4 hours, daily, it's holding steady. It's tough, but we're holding. Looking at 2 uncertain candles, as we see on stock indices, there's movement, but in the end, these 2 days mean nothing for Bitcoin's price. However, for altcoins, we know very well that big drops are starting, beginning with Ethereum. I hope it forms a head and shoulders to reverse. Maybe I'm seeing patterns everywhere. Tomorrow's stats might be good. We might see a green candle, maybe a rise for XRP. The context is tricky, but chart-wise, it's typical. I think people will enjoy trading as they have since July 13th, buying at 52, selling around 62, buying at 52, dipping to 44, selling at, buy at 52, sell at 62, buy at 52. I bet it'll go up. It might hit 62, but these quick moves make me cautious. I'm wary of breakouts, long positions, and charts, because even if you're right, playing this pattern and going long here could still break you. So it's always the same. Even if you're right, you lose money. It's a tricky game. I mention this because stacks might be signaling something, maybe giving us Bitcoin's direction. We talked about Bitcoin making higher lows, 1, 2, 3, like Bitcoin, but it's making a fourth. Perkin shows the direction, and we'll end with Axel. In this market, I think we should stay completely sidelined still today, but this range keeps getting tested. I feel at some point, given it's heading north, Axel, that's not a bad pattern. I see some reversal there. Of course, the context is complex. That's all from me for now. I wish you a good day.